Look at my face and my neck. I can't eat red meat anymore. I can't have any animal byproducts in anything. And it's in everything. This is alpha-gal syndrome. This is fucked up, man. Fuck ticks. I love to go hiking. This is fucking crazy.
As you can see, Esau is not having a good time in his kingdom. These ticks are turning people into vegans, man. This place is through. Anyway, before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying to the elect. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well, the leaders of all Israelites in these end times, showing us the correct way to salvation. Shalom to you, Akwaf, in order, you Israelite sisters that are in order, that may be watching, listening, and learning. Shalom to you, and shalom to you brothers out there teaching on the highways and hedges. Shalom to you Israelites that may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, making you a Hebrew Israelite, regardless of your appearance, because it ain't about color. It is about the chosen seed line. Therefore, we're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're just the Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible, backing our lot and proclaiming the downfall of this place, this wicked kingdom. Shalom. So shalom means peace be unto you, by the way. So the title of this lesson is Ticks Are Turning People into Vegans. And as you saw in the opening clip, this Edomite here, what I perceive to be an Edomite, he's through, man. I mean, you see all the blotches and stuff on his skin. And now he can't eat meat. He can't eat any animal byproducts, he said. He said he's got something called alpha-gal syndrome. I believe that's what they call it. And there's also, I believe, I don't know if it's the same thing as Lyme disease, but, you know, these ticks also cause Lyme disease. And apparently that's something that also keeps people from eating, you know, eating meat. And this is all, you know, perpetrated by Esau Edom because he likes to mess with nature. He don't like to leave nature alone because this man always trying to be like the Most High, you know, always thinking he's correct in the Lord's work. You know, he's saying that cows burping are causing the earth to warm up. Cows burping and farting all of a sudden now they're a problem. And we all know why. You know, the scriptures say that, you know, the devil has come down unto us having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And this devil is talking about is Esau Edom. This is pursuant to Revelations 12:12, man. Okay, he's coming down having great wrath. This man ain't playing. He's going full steam ahead with his 2030 agenda, and part of that agenda is to change the traditional way of farming, and he wants to do away with us eating meat. We can only eat a certain percentage of meat, especially if he gets that chip in you. He's going to be able to control that. Your money won't be programmed. Your money will be programmed to where it won't be able to buy red meat. And this is their agenda, man, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. These people are wicked as hell, man. All right. So let me go ahead and you saw that man's reaction to being bit by, you know, these ticks that the elite, the wicked elite had geoengineered to, you know, prevent people from eating meat. It's wicked, man. And that's all you can expect from Esau Edom, is just pure wickedness under his rulership, because he don't know how to rule. He don't rule in righteousness. This man's just straight up wicked. Anyway, let me turn to my first precept. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. And we're going to go to chapter 29 and verse 2. Scriptures say, Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So, you know, when the righteous are in authority, which is the Israelites, you know, and they're not in authority right now, they're in the ghettos, on reservations, you know, they're in the poorest parts of the earth. They don't own anything. So the Israelites, which are the righteous, they're not in authority right now, okay? So the world ain't rejoicing, because when they're in authority, the people rejoice. It says, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So what's the condition of the world right now? Everybody's in mourning for different reasons, many different reasons. Name me one person in your personal life that ain't catching some type of hell, man. You could trace it all back to who's ruling the earth, man, the manager, which is Esau Edom, okay? Let me go ahead and play this other quick video. And this is another guy speaking on this same topic, on the same reaction that this guy had. And he's gonna go into a bit more detail, okay? Check this out.
My face and my neck. I can't eat red meat anymore. I can't have any animal byproducts in anything. And it's in everything.
I just watched this video and man, it makes me sad. I have to talk about what's happening to him because more Americans are getting this condition every year now. And most people have no idea it exists. What you're looking at is called alpha-gal syndrome. Alpha-gal is a sugar molecule found in the meat, dairy, and tissues of almost every mammal. Humans don't make it, but certain ticks carry it in their saliva. When that tick bites you, your immune system flags alpha-gal as foreign and builds antibodies against it. Then the next time you eat beef, pork, lamb, dairy, anything from a mammal, your body attacks. Hives, stomach cramps. And here's the strangest part. Reactions are delayed 2 to 6 hours after you eat. People wake up in the middle of the night covered in hives. The main culprit in the US is the Lone Star tick. Small, aggressive, with a distinctive white dot on its back. The CDC estimates 450,000 Americans now have alpha-gal syndrome, and that number is increasing. There's no cure. So how do you protect yourself? You have to take proper precaution against ticks if you're an outdoors person. A good bug spray, shoes, gear. But at the end of the day, if you're outdoors a lot, you need to check yourself for ticks. Daily tick checks, behind knees, armpits, hairline, wristband. Remove attached ticks within 24 hours with fine-tipped tweezers close to the skin. Pull straight up, don't twist. And if you ever experience hives or stomach issues hours after eating red meat or dairy, see an allergist and ask for alpha-gal IgE blood test by name. Awareness is still low. Most doctors don't think to test for it. A single tick bite can change what you eat for the rest of your life. Protect yourself accordingly.
So what the guy said is that it's spreading, okay? It's spreading. There's a lot more people that are getting this syndrome, okay? The ticks. These ticks, these certain type of ticks are increasing in number, okay? And, you know, the reason I say that this stinks of Esau is because you're going to see in just a moment, I'm going to show you a video of a meeting, okay, a secret council of the wicked, and they were discussing, you know, what they be discussing behind closed doors in their WEF meetings or their Bilderberg meetings or whatever secret kind of meetings they have, you know. And a guy is here spilling the beans, basically saying that you know, there's ticks that cause people that prevent people from eating red meat, and you know, these people are giddy and happy about it, man. Okay, that's what they want, you know. And why is all this madness happening? Because of the people ruling, man. Okay, just like I said earlier. And let's go ahead and see who's ruling, okay? Because the first scripture I read, right, was Proverbs 29:2, and it says, "When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Right? Who are the wicked? It's the people ruling the earth. Let's go ahead and prove that in the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. Right? It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked." Okay, so this means that the people ruling the earth right now, the Bible is classifying them as the wicked. You have wicked people of all races in this earth. That is true. But you have a specific people in the earth that the Bible classifies as the wicked. Okay? Not wicked people, but the wicked. There is a difference. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right? So the people that have the power to basically, you know, engineer ticks to keep people from eating meat. some freaky agenda that they got going on. The people that have the ability to do that are the people governing the earth, the people ruling the earth. It's not little Pookie and Ray Ray and Bon Quisha in the ghetto that are, you know, making moves like this in the earth, man. Okay, it's them. It's the juice. The orange juice. Okay. Of course, I'm talking about the JEWs. They're the Edomites, man. That's the wicked. They're the ones ruling the earth. So the ones ruling the earth are called the wicked. It says, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? So the people ruling the earth have covered the faces of the true judges, the people that are supposed to be ruling the earth, okay? And he did that through a process called iconoclasm, okay? During the Renaissance era. Renaissance meaning rebirth. Okay, so when Esau was rising up into power and spreading himself, he was whitewashing all the images, okay, covering the faces of the judges, okay? And that's what they did, man. They made them look like so-called Caucasians when they were all melanated people, okay? And it says, if not, where and who is he? So if this man ain't the wicked of the earth, then who is? This is what it's saying, all right? So let me go ahead and play another quick video. Let's get through this, okay?
Ticks are making people allergic to red meat and dairy. It sounds crazy, but it's an allergy called alpha-gal, and it's been spreading across the United States. But it's getting especially bad right now on Martha's Vineyard. We went there and met with an epidemiologist who's been tracking this allergy's rise across the island.
But it's a molecule that's in the bite of a tick, specifically Lone Star ticks in the United States. And when it bites us, our immune system might decide foreign invader, don't like it, and I'm gonna create an allergic response. Some of us never mount that allergic response. We don't actually totally know why some people become allergic and some people don't.
Now, alpha-gal is sometimes called the midnight allergy because it can hit several hours after you eat. This happened to Tom Murphy, who ate a steak dinner and then went to bed.
Everything was fine, everything was normal, and about 2 or so in the morning, I woke up and I was having trouble breathing, a lot of trouble breathing.
At that time, they had to send the test off the island. I mean, it wasn't on anybody's radar. The doctor hadn't even heard about it.
So what were the things you can't eat anymore?
Well, you can't eat anything, any meat that comes from an animal with a hoof. So no beef, no lamb, no pork, no venison.
Ticks already had been a big problem in Martha's Vineyard, but the Lone Star, which carries alpha-gal, has been spreading especially fast. It's a very aggressive tick. When we went on a tick hunt in Tom's yard with a tick biologist, we found 2 Lone Stars among 21 total ticks.
They are a different beast. We've got a good climate here for ticks since we're out on the ocean. We have plenty of hosts, like very overabundant deer, other overabundant hosts that the ticks just have no problem.
Yeah, those hosts, them farm animals, or, you know, even wild animals, man, they're getting covered in these ticks, okay? This thing's spreading like wildfire. Check this out.
Finding a meal, and they just weren't here on the island before.
So he's saying they weren't there before. Well, that's interesting. I wonder where they came from. Okay, let's go ahead and check out this next clip.
I've been hearing about all of the tick. I don't know if you guys have been hearing about all of the tick stuff that is going on, but right now it's all over my For You page, and a video just popped up that really ticks me off, not to be ironic, but you will be too after you see this clip, and I'm going to show it in just a second, but let me explain it really quick. It's a meeting of the World Economic Forum 9 years ago, and Matthew Lau is speaking. He is the director of the Center for Bioethics at New York University, and he says that humans are eating too much meat, but there is a way to genetically modify humans to make them allergic to meat for the stubborn people that still want to eat meat. And if that isn't enough for you to be like, what the heck did this dude just say? I look to the right of him, and it's freaking George Church, the director of genetics at Harvard University that was getting paid $1 million by Epstein and Richard Merkin to work on a GMO human project for commercial use. I have an entire video about this on my page, but the email that stuck out to me between George Church, Richard Merkin, and Jeffrey Epstein was this one from George Church. I believe that you both were interested in our disruptive technologies for human genome and microbiome engineering, especially in the context of our biobank human stem cell samples, which we feel are the only ones in the world properly consented for broad commercial use. And this is from Epstein to Richard Merkin. How many dollars are you willing to give George Church? Let's start with $1 million. In regards to the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and George Church, look at how George Church is acting when Matthew Lau brings up how there are evil people in the world that might get a hold of this technology.
They're always going to be evil and, this goes into the sort of the villains, super villains. They're going to be people who are going to want to do that. But I think super villains have to respect our equality as moral status. Whether they do in fact or not, that's a separate question, but ethically they ought.
But George,
Is it just me, or did he look entirely guilty when that guy was talking about how evil people could get a hold of GMO technology? Even though I also think Matthew Lau could be a part of it, because here is him talking about GMOing people to make them allergic to red meat.
People eat too much meat, and if they were to cut down on their consumption of meat, it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't. Possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. That's something that we can do through human engineering.
Members of the World Economic Forum that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein, like George Church, and getting paid by Jeffrey Epstein to work on a GMO human project, said that it would be beneficial if we were all allergic to red meat. And now we are seeing a tick season like never before, with people showing up with alpha-gal syndrome left and right on my For You page, when previously I had never known anybody with the disease.
Yeah, so they're investing. They're speaking of investing in research and engineering, geoengineering, making GMO ticks, basically. Okay, to cause this reaction, to make you look like this guy. Okay, it ain't. They don't care how they make you allergic to meat. Okay, they don't care if you look like this guy or 10 times worse, as long as it makes you allergic to meat. Because that's their goal. And they don't care about human life or human suffering to get to their desired result, man. This is what they want. Okay, they want us not eating meat. Okay, imagine living a life where you can't eat meat, man. Come on, man. You'll be skinny like some crackhead junkie or something, man. You'll be looking malnutrition. You'll be looking like you're suffering from malnutrition. Okay, so this is the wicked's plans for us, man. Okay, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 64, real quick, right? And this is just something I wanted to bring out. I've been bombarded lately with videos about ticks, okay, and this whole situation, and I thought, I'm just gonna gather information and then do a lesson one day, and now I'm overflowed with videos, man, so I thought, I might as well just bring this out now. Make a good lesson, show you how crafty this devil is, man. This is Psalms chapter 64, starting at verse 2. We're going to read through 8. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, right? And I already explained that the wicked are the current rulers of this earth, the Edomites, okay? Esau, whose name was changed to Edom. His blessing was the fatness of the earth. So the people ruling the earth are the ones that had the blessing of the fatness of the earth, which is Esau, the Edomites. Okay, so that's milk for those that don't know. Anyway, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Their Bilderberg meetings, their secret meetings that they have once a year, man. Okay, the things that they're discussing in those meetings. Hide me from that. This is King David speaking. It says, from the insurrection, which is a violent uprising, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And I already explained earlier that Revelations 12:12 says that the devil is come down unto us having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. That's a violent insurrection, man. A violent uprising. Okay, that's an insurrection. Okay, and the workers of iniquity are the wicked, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So it says in verse 3, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Okay, so, they're constantly, speaking words of hatred and calling us useless eaters and, talking about depopulating the earth. Just some grievous, unrighteous decrees and grievous policies and words that they speak, man. Okay, because the scriptures speak about how their ways are always grievous. Okay, that's these Edomites, the wicked, man. Okay, so it says who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Notice it says in secret. Okay, and this is their ultimate goal, is to get at the perfect, which is the elect of Israel. Okay, their ultimate goal is to get to the prophets. It says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And the scriptures speak about how, the enemy is going to come in like a flood, but the Lord is going to lift up a standard against him. Okay, which is spiritual power. So, this is what this is saying is that they suddenly do they shoot at him. They're going to basically come for us at some point. Okay, but the Lord is going to intervene. Okay, he's going to lift up that standard. Okay, so verse 5, it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. See, and this tick thing, this tick agenda of theirs is just one of many of their evil agendas, man. Their evil matters. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune, meaning they communicate, of laying snares, which is traps. So they communicate of laying traps privily, meaning privately. They communicate of laying traps privately is what this is basically saying. It says they say, who shall see them? Because they have these meetings in the dark, in their secret councils, where we're not allowed to know what they're talking about. And they're up to no good. Check their track record, man. When did they ever do good for the world? It's all rooted in wickedness, and if they do good, they do it unwillingly, Anyway, verse 6, it says they search out iniquities, which iniquity means sin upon sin. So they search out wickedness. It says they accomplish a diligent search, meaning they succeed in their search. It says both the inward thought of every one of them, right? And the heart is deep. The heart is the mind, la'ab. The Hebrew word la'ab, okay, which means the mind. Okay, so the mind is deep. They think deep. They go deep when it comes into these plans of, their 2030 agenda, and they have it laid out step by step, man. And it is all rooted in wickedness and unrighteous decrees and draconian measure, man. So verse 7, it says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. And we've been doing many lessons on this, because the arrow it's talking about is the ICBM nuclear missiles. It's going to rain down upon them in due time. It says the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make that, where it says suddenly shall they be wounded, the scriptures speak about how, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. That's the same destruction it's talking about, man. Suddenly shall they be wounded, okay, with that arrow, which is going to bring a major destruction, them ICBM nuclear missiles, man. That's what it's talking about. So verse 8, it says, so they shall make, Salakia, it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And that's why, Edomites are all over TikTok doing, you can check out these clips. Like most of these clips I'm bringing out, if not all of them, are by their own people, the Edomites, the ones ruling the earth. Okay, they're making their own tongue to fall upon themselves. Okay, It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. And that also goes into how the elites, you know, they sometimes slip up and spill the beans on themselves. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So everyone that sees that these people are the problem, okay, everyone that figures it out, that these people are the wicked of the Bible, the Edomite, that they're evil, they're going to flee away from them, okay? And they're going to turn against them. So, let me go and show you how, you know, these ticks spread easy, man. Okay, because, you know, they're dropping them on farmland and they're just multiplying, okay? And they start out really, really tiny, and all you have to do is brush up on them for them to spread and to, you know, crawl upon you and bite you. So check this out, man.
Watch closely. You see that? And that? You see that? Watch closely, baby. This is how it happens.
Those are ticks. Look at that.
That's how it happens. That's how they get on your pants. They're just waiting for something to walk by they can grab on. And I'll be honest with you, there ain't nothing you can do about it. There is no spray going to keep that from happening. Now, once they're on you, best thing to do is just get them off immediately. I usually bring a lint roller. Today I didn't have one. So I just used my hands and wiped them off. The best way to do it, just get them off right now. But you got to be paying attention every 3 steps.
That's terrible, man. Being scared of ticks. And the thing is, you saw how easy and quick they spread just by, you know, his pant leg brushing upon, you know, that swarm of baby ticks. It was just, you wouldn't even see it. It just, you know, before you know it, you're just walking through it, brushes on your clothes, and then it's over with. And when it comes to the animals, all it does is have to brush upon the fur. You know, the animals are up and down through the forest all day long. So look at what it's doing to the animals also, as well as the people, man. It's terrible, you know. So let me go ahead and show you another video of what's happening, you know, when these animals brush upon them and how this thing is spreading, man. Check this out.
Sensitive. All right, I'm sorry if you're a sensitive person, but this needs to be talked about. You guys need to share this video. This is obviously a dead moose somewhere in Canada, I believe, and it is just covered in thousands of ticks. This is the reason why it has died, because ticks will suck the blood, and when there's that many, there you go. Crazy. Now, I'm no expert, but I grew up in Canada, and I used to be out in the forest. I literally had a forest out back. I used to be in the forest all the time playing manhunt with my friends. We wouldn't even look for ticks. We'd never even check for them when we come home. If you got a tick, it was a very rare thing. And now we're seeing animals with tens of thousands of ticks on them, just covered head to toe. If you guys think that this is just a natural process, you're not very smart. And the timing of this couldn't be any better. You know, it's interesting that Big Pharma is coming out with vaccines for Lyme disease and, you know, all this stuff to combat the ticks. It goes even deeper when top scientists at these companies go on air and talk about how they can bioengineer ticks to make us allergic to red meat. How about listen?
So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanisms.
This is what they're talking about right here. These microscopic fucking ticks that are just outbreaking all over the United States. You guys think that this is a coincidence, huh? Do you think this is fucking normal, guys? Or do you think something else is going on here? Create the problem and the solution on repeat over and over again. Biological warfare, the same thing that we saw in 2020. That's what you're seeing right now. And I'm so sick of these Satanists that control everything, that poison our fucking air, our water, our food supply, that are releasing these ticks. I'm sick of these people. So when you guys are down to get together and overthrow all of them, let me know. I'll be on the front lines. And in the meantime, you guys should obviously know how...
Yeah, man, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You know, everyone's waiting for the day these people get taken out. But as you can see, you know, in the picture behind this guy, it's disgusting, man. Look at that. That's ticks. All of that is ticks, man, on animals. And they have no fingers to get them off. This is why, you know, animals need to be taken care of, especially if it's your cattle. You know, you're supposed to be checking for things like that as a good farmer. You know, if your animal's having a tick infestation, you're supposed to take that off. You know, but let's quickly turn to the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. 2 and verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed. So they devise iniquity. Iniquity is sin upon sin. And that's what they devise, okay, in their meetings, in their secret councils. That's the wicked. And it says, and they work evil upon their beds, meaning their rest. This is their kingdom, right? So they're working evil in their rulership. It says, when the morning is light, they practice it, you know, while they're still in power. You know, they practice it. Why? It says because it is in the power of their hand. And who's this talking about? The very people that have the world in their hand. You know, the power is given into their hands. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, just like we read in the book of Job 9:24, man. And it goes on. I wasn't going to read 2 and 3, but I might as well, because it gives you a hint as to who this is talking about. It says, and they covet fields, okay, they steal lands and take them by violence, talking about the Edomite, the so-called white man. It says, and houses and take them away, okay? So they steal people's land and houses. Who's that sound like? Maybe them fake JEWs in the land right now, trying to create the greater Israel project, man. It says, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil. This family, it said, right? Against this family, the Edomite, the so-called white man, woman and child. Against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks. That's why everything's happening the way it's happening in the earth right now. All this chaos, nothing but bad news after bad news, back to back prophecies jumping off the pages, man. It's all happening because the Lord is devising an evil against this family. He says, behold, that against this family do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks. You're not getting out of this, okay? This is of the Lord. It says, neither shall ye go haughtily, which means proud, because they're a very proud nation of people, and the Lord is bringing their pride low, okay? It says, neither shall ye go haughtily, proud, for this time is evil, okay? So this is basically giving you a hint as to who is talking about. But the point is that these people, it says, woe to them, which woe means death and destruction. So this is what's coming to them that were evil upon their beds, the ones that have the earth in their hands, okay? The ones that have the power to do these wicked things. Who is it? Pookie and Ray Ray in the hood that have the power to mutate ticks to cause you to stop eating meat? That's the wicked, okay? That's who it's talking about. And the Lord is saying, woe to these devils, okay? Death and destruction is coming upon these devils, man. Let me go ahead and play you another clip. Check this out.
What's that? Oh,
All right,
what's that? Oh, a farmer catches a helicopter dropping thousands, if not millions of ticks into his farm, and things are getting a little bit wild. Tell me more! This is wild. A farmer's going out, kind of going through his land, and he notices a helicopter coming up, and it starts to drop all these ticks. So that video is going viral and circulating right now because he caught people in the act of doing this.
That's
The helicopter
crazy.
and flew away, but things picked up a little bit quickly. After a few days of these ticks being around, the man actually started to find certain things that were dead on his property from these ticks. For example, he actually came across a moose on his property that was killed by these ticks. Now, there were people saying that this wasn't actually happening and that these were tick boxes that were showing up on farmland, but that's not what was happening. They're actually dropping thousands of ticks into these farmers' fields, and now they're finding them and catching them doing it. Okay.
So, I don't know. You know, this ain't confirmed. This is rumored, okay? And apparently people have videos of, you know, their helicopters on their land dropping ticks. Who knows, man? But, you know, this sounds like, it stinks of Esau. It sounds like something that he would do because this man is wicked to the core, and checking his track record. This is something he's been known to do that. He's been known to use bioweapons. Let's quickly turn to the book of Sirach real quick. Let's turn to Sirach chapter 10. And we're going to read 3 through 4, right? Sirach 10:3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, and the king of the earth right now is Esau, Edom, the one that the world was given to. Okay, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the people ruling the earth are the king that this is referring to, and they're the unwise king. They're the fools. It says, an unwise king destroyeth his people. Okay, so this is what they're doing, man, by causing you to have a permanent allergic reaction to red meat. That's disgusting, man. What if it bit a little child? Now it's got to live its whole long life not being able to eat meat, man, just because these devils don't want us enjoying the earth. They call us useless eaters, okay? And they don't want you eating the good stuff. They want you eating bugs. Okay, look it up. This is true. I'm not just making this up. It says, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Okay, so a wise ruler will make a city flourish. Okay, because, you know, when you're unwise, okay, people are gonna hide themselves, man. It says, or if you're an evil ruler, people are going to hide themselves. It says in verse 4, it says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and the Lord gave the world into the hand of the wicked. Remember, it says in Job 9:24, the earth is given, keyword given, to the hand of the wicked, right? The Lord allowed them to rule to fulfill prophecy, ultimately so he can destroy them in the end, but, you know, he's going to raise them up to destroy them in the end, to declare his power so that his name will be declared in the earth. Okay, it says in verse 4, I'm going to read it again. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. It says, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, because the people that he set over it now are not profitable. They're destroying the earth. Okay, it's just right here, verse 8. Let's jump down to this. I wasn't going to read this, but I might as well because we're in this chapter and it's got a lot of meat in it. This is Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So the earth is going to be translated to a new rulership, okay, because of the things that these people are doing. Unrighteous dealings, okay, stealing people's land, injuries, riches and wealth and resources gotten by deception. Or because of all these things, the Lord is going to take the rulership from the so-called white man and give it to the rightful rulers. And we'll get more into that in just a second, because right now the unwise king that's destroying the earth is the Edomite, okay? And they are unprofitable to life. They're unprofitable to the earth. They're polluting the earth and destroying the earth in every way possible, man. Every nook and cranny is just destroyed under this devil's rule. He's altering this, genetically modifying that. He's even changing the genetics, messing with the RNA of humans and all that, man. This man's got to go. He's got to be stopped. That's why it says in verse 4, I'm going to read it one more time. It says, Sirach 10:4, the power of the earth, the rulership of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. Okay, so he's the one that tells you who is going to rule or sets up the rulers of the earth, right? It says, and in due time, which is the very near future, by the end of World War III, there's going to be a new rulership. It says, and in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. So right now, you got the basis of men, right? Pursuant to Daniel. Is it Daniel? Is it 4:17? So the rulers that, the Lord gave the earth to right this moment in this current rulership is the Edomite, the wicked, right? And it says here, right here, that they are the lowest of all races. Daniel 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and a demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, just like we read earlier. Okay, that in Sirach 10, I believe it was 4, that the Lord said that that the Lord sets over the Lord is in control of who. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. That's what it says, Salakia, right? So it says that the Most High know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. It says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. Okay, so the Lord gives the rulership to whosoever he will for whatever purpose he wants, right? It says, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So the people that are set over it currently, the Bible is calling them the basest of men, the lowest of the low. Okay, out of all races and different races of people in the earth, the so-called white man is described as not only the wicked, but the lowest, the basest of all men. Okay. And it's evident in their rulership. I mean, they've turned this world into a ghetto, okay, which is a reflection of who they are, okay? The current condition of this world is a reflection of their heart's condition. Absolutely corrupt. Okay? So, yeah, that's that. Let me go ahead and bring out another clip real quick, because these people have been known to use bioweapons, okay? And they're using ticks as bioweapons, all right? Check this out, man.
If you live in certain parts of this country, rural areas particularly, you know people who have or who have had Lyme disease. For some percentage, it's totally life-destroying. So what is that exactly? Back in 2008, a woman called Chris Newby produced a documentary about Lyme.
Some infectious disease doctors, they don't believe in Lyme.
It's hard to digest all of this. It's just so evil.
I met a CIA black ops guy who said in 1962, the weirdest thing he'd ever done was dropping poison ticks on Cuban sugarcane workers. That was Operation Mongoose. That was the first evidence that we had dropped ticks on a foreign country as a...
See that... That's why, I said earlier, I brought out that scripture earlier that they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. This is them making their tongue fall upon themselves, okay? By basically whistleblowing, man. Okay, and revealing information that wasn't supposed to be leaked, okay? That, digging up information of how these people have been using ticks as bioweapons, okay? So it's nothing foreign to Esau Edom. It's not out of the realm of his possibilities. This is what he does, man. This is how he gets down, okay? Let me run that back slightly.
Sugarcane workers. That was Operation Mongoose. That was the first evidence that we had dropped ticks on a foreign country as a bioweapon. And then the other thing is, one of my filmmaker friends went out to Willy Bergdorfer at the very end. He said, yeah, when I investigated the Lyme disease sickness in the early 80s, there was another organism there. It wasn't just Lyme that was making people sick. It was.
Yeah, so yeah, man. These people are unprofitable to life, okay? Just destroying the earth, man. Totally just ruining the earth, okay? Through warfare, biological warfare, or whatever. It causes permanent damage, man. The results cause permanent damage to the earth, man. Because now we gotta live with these bloody ticks. These freaking ticks. Forever, okay? Until the Lord comes back and corrects things, man. Okay, we gotta deal with a corrupt and polluted earth under this devil, man. And the Lord gonna destroy him for that. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 18. It says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, the wrath of the Lord. All right, it's talking about the second coming of the Lord. He's not coming back in a gentle fashion. Okay, he's not coming back meek and humble like he did the first time. Okay, he's coming back and he's gonna take the world, just like they produced that movie Brightburn. It's all based on, you know, it's all biblically based, man. It's all through the Spirit. Okay, because the Lord came the first time as Superman, the hero, humble, gentle, meek, kind. And the second Superman is, you know what, Marvel or, you know, Hollywood portrays as the evil Superman, okay? Which the Lord ain't evil. He's just coming back in a different fashion, and it's going to take the world by surprise. He's coming back as an angry so-called black man, and he's coming back to take the world or take the kingdom. He's going to give it to the Israelites, his chosen, all right? Anyway, so it says, and the nations were angry, and this is the point where we're at now. You know, people are protesting, everyone's turning on them fake JEWs, chasing them out of the world. It's, you know, it's all going down, man. The nations are pissed. It says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. So we know that next, you know, we're in the stage of nations being angry, and we know next comes the day of the Lord. We're very close to that time, because this is the time. It says, in the time of the dead that they should be judged. It says, and that thou shouldest give reward to thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, which the saints are the Israelites, the prophets are the Israelites. So that it's talking about the elect of the Israelites, okay? So the Lord is coming back with rewards for his servants and saints. It says, and them that fear thy name, right? The name of the Lord is Yahweh. The name of his only begotten son is Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus, man. It says, and them that fear thy name, small and great, right? So they're going to get their reward too. And this is the point right here. And it says, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So the Lord coming to destroy the Edomite, okay, as well as anybody down with them that bows the knee to this beast system, man. This wicked, corrupt system that they're setting up. If you want to be down with that and you receive their microchip, their mark of the beast, which is coming in the very near future, they're setting up that digital infrastructure right now. Okay, if you accept that, you're screwed, all right? You're going to go down with him, because the ones that are destroying the earth are going to get destroyed, and anybody that's joined unto them is going to get thrust through, man. All right, thus saith the Lord. All right, let's turn to the book of Romans chapter 8 real quick. This is the book of Romans 8 and 22. Actually, I'm going to start 19. This is Romans 8 and 19. It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. So the people of the earth, the creatures of the earth, you know, the creature being the humans and the animals, okay, the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. So the elect, they're waiting for the elect to rule, whether they're whether they're conscious of it or not, man. The deep down, everyone's looking for new rulership, okay? But that new rulership that's going to fix the world is going to be by the Hebrew Israelites, okay? It says in verse 20, it says, for the creature was made subject to vanity. You know, we were born in this flesh, and we're subject to go off. And it says not willingly, right? So we don't willingly go off. We're just created corrupt, you know, in a sense. You know, our bodies are created to be subject to sin for the Lord's ultimate purpose. It says not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope, you know, because we're prisoners of hope, man. So the Lord has made us subject to that, okay? We're hoping for these new bodies. We're hoping to be delivered from this corruptible flesh, man. But that's not the point. Let's get to the point. Verse 21, it says, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. Okay, so the elect are going to be transformed into new bodies, and the whole world going to benefit from that, man. Okay. It says in verse 22, it says, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travail in pain together until now. So the whole world is suffering and is travailing in pain until this very day. Okay. Basically waiting for the Israelites to come into rulership. And that's what's going to happen, thus saith the Lord, man. All right. So I want to show you one more scripture, and then, one more clip, and then, I got a few more scriptures on it, and then I'm going to close it out there. All right. But check this out, because you got ticks that are actually chasing people now. Okay. Which, I wouldn't be surprised if this if Bill Gates has something to do with this, or, one of them elites, or these elites have something to do with this, man, because ticks don't normally chase people. That's just crazy. Not only are they highly infectious and cause you to have Lyme disease, but they're now chasing you. Check this out, man.
Houston, we have a problem. The ticks have become even more aggressive. This is from a Russian biologist. Apparently ticks are literally now hunting people, chasing their victims. That is not normal. It's a specific...
Now that opening clip he just showed of that tick, there's one I was looking for this lesson, but I couldn't find it. But it basically it's an extended version of that clip. And it shows that everywhere that man turned, the tick would follow him. The tick would be chasing him. And it's fast too. Let me run it back so you can see it slightly. Check this out, man.
Houston, we have a problem. The ticks have become even more aggressive. This is from a Russian biologist. Apparently ticks are literally now hunting people.
See, because that clip don't do justice, but when you look at the full clip of that actual video, which I've seen, yeah, man, that tick was chasing him for a little while. It wasn't just a quick, he turns and it turns direction toward him. No, it was kept doing it. It was crazy. Anyway.
Chasing their victims. That is not normal. It's a specific tick. They are resistant to hunger, extreme weather conditions, and aerosol sprays. Yeah, they've created a super bioweapon. It's absolutely terrifying what they're doing. We should maybe tell our scientists to stop playing God and stop biologically manufacturing insects into fucking disease-carrying weapons. But I'm sure we'll be too busy. Jack, come here! I'm sure we'll be too busy arguing about dumb shit like manufactured woke garbage.
But anyway, man, you see that these ticks are engineered to be aggressive and chase people. Oh, we need deliverance from this devil, man. We need deliverance. Let's see. All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 10. It says, the physician cut off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. So the disease that the physician is getting ready to cut off is Esau Edom. He's the cancer of the earth, okay? And the physician is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, the Son of the Most High, right? So the physician is the Son of the Most High. He's coming to cut off the long disease, the cancer of the earth. And it's giving you a hint as to who it's talking about. It says, and he that is today a king, which is Esau, tomorrow shall die. So the Lord is getting ready to take these Edomites out of power, right? Why? Why, you might ask? It says here, and I read this earlier, but I'm going to read it again. Sirach 10 and 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people. Right? They're destroying their people, man. They're unwise, they're unprofitable. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And this is the point. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. Okay? So the Lord is in control of who's ruling. And the kingdom of heaven is not going to have such a wicked ruler over it, man. That's why it's called the kingdom of heaven. It's a place of peace and righteousness, a kingdom of righteousness. And that's what's coming, man. But the rulership has to change. So it says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, the rulership. And in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. Okay, so the one that is profitable.
In the hand of God is the
Oh, Slakia. I didn't mean to do that. What have I done here? All right. Slakia for that. So the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he's going to set over it one that is profitable, which is Yahushai. And the 12 tribes of Israel, the elect of the Israelites that are going to rule the earth. Okay, the 144,000, the ones ruling. They're the ones that are going to be profitable to the earth. Okay, the new rulers. And the current ruler is Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Okay, let's quickly prove that. And this will be the last precept I bring out in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9, right? You can read 7 through 9, but I'm just going to read 9 and get to the point. And it says, for Esau is the end of the world. So Esau is the so-called white man that's ruling at the end of the world. It says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is what it's all about, man. The righteous rulership, when the righteous are in authority, the people are going to rejoice. And that's the kingdom of heaven. The righteous are the Israelites, the saints. They're going to take the kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is the new rulership on earth, okay? So we need salvation from this devil so that we can rule the earth in peace, okay? That's what salvation's about. All right, and Esau is the end of the world. Jacob, which are you biblical Israelites, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, okay? So this is what we need in order for there to be peace on earth, because these people have taken away peace from the earth, man, and causing, now you got ticks, little critters running around chasing your ankles, man. This is crazy, okay? And if they bite you, one little tinsy wincy little bite from these little creatures can cause you to be allergic to red meat and have a reaction like this brother right here, man. Through. All right. So yeah, anyway, Lord willing, you've been edified by this lesson. You know, I hope it weren't too drawn out and all over the place, but this is what's going down, man. Esau Edom is continuing to double down on his wickedness, and the Lord is in due time going to take this man out of power and destroy him because he's destroying the earth. He's the unwise king, man. All right. So I'm going to close out here. I'm going to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kudash. All right, Shalom.